Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? Today, we're going to take a little bit of a detour, and we're going to talk about a tragedy. So specifically, the tragedy that happens when a well-crafted masterpiece of a fragrance, specifically for the mature man, is taken off the market. It's taken away from us, and it's gone from our lives forever, right? These aren't really scents. They're not just scents, right? They also kind of define an era of masculinity. And it's things that we have grown up with and that we've identified with. So we're going to walk through some of those and start a new series called The Top Masculine Mature Men Fragrances That Should Never Have Been Discontinued, Part 1. So I'm going to pull this list from my massive collection. I'm approaching about 500 bottles now. A lot of my stuff is discontinued. I've been doing this for a while. So I want to walk through the ones that are going to be sorely missed and we're never going to see again. So the first one on my list, Thierry Mugler, Pure Havane. So this is a shame to see this one go. This is one of my top, it's been in my top 5 since it's come out. So it was released originally in 2011 as a limited edition, and then they did a re-release of it. And they discontinued and brought it back a couple of times, as I recall. But then they did their final discontinuation of this in 2020. So key notes, right? What is in this guy? He is a delicious honeyed tobacco, vanilla, cacao, patchouli. And in the early release batches, I get kind of a cherry note. I will say all of my batches of this are early. I stocked up on it early because I really like it and then held on to it. So I haven't tried the later ones, but this is very much delicious. It wasn't that kind of harsh or dry tobacco. It was kind of a moist, freshly rolled Cuban cigar, layered with gooey white honey and creamy vanilla, right? And then the cacao and the patchouli make it an absolute performance beast. So it's seductive, it's warm, it's highly addictive. For the mature man that wants kind of a sweet scent profile that projects incredible depth and masculinity, this was the one. So very sad to see him go. So next on our list is YSL M7, the original release. So this was released in 2002, I believe. Tom Ford actually made this creation for YSL. So one of his early creations. Also, the introduction of oud. A lot of it dates back to this guy, right? A lot of the oud craze that we've been through started right here. So this was a delicious fragrance of oud, amber, vetiver, mandarin orange, musk, and bergamot. So very well crafted, very much a masculine man's fragrance, mature man's fragrance, one that's going to be sorely missed. So next up on our list, Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum. This is the 2012 release. And that's kind of important because it was released in 2012 and then discontinued and brought back in 2017 as a little bit of a different fragrance. So this original one is a masterpiece, especially for a mature man. It is very much right up a mature man's alley, in my opinion. Scent profile on this, your main 3 notes, myrrh, vetiver, bergamot. And with those 3 dominant notes, you get kind of a dark, resinous, classy type fragrance, right? It just it takes the original light Sauvage, right? Eau Sauvage, and then makes it darker. And it just kind of took the market by storm. It was love at first sniff for me. So very, very sad to see this one go. So next up on our list, Gucci Envy for men. So this one kind of took a break from my normal. I'm not normally a fresh, clean type scent. There's a couple that I like, but this one really took me by surprise. This is powerful, commanding, mature, confident, all kind of rolled into one while still being clean and fresh, but still having the darker edge that a lot of fragrances that I like have. So this was a beautiful find, in my opinion. He's been discontinued since 2004. So it's been over 20 years since he's been on the market. But I still kind of hold him up as the holy grail to a lot of kind of like a mature man, fresh, clean, but confident scent would be this guy. So we're going to miss him. And last on the list for the part 1 video, we're going to look at Yves Saint Laurent Rive Gauche. So let's talk a little bit about him and what he was all about. So he was originally discontinued back in 2011. They did re-release him in a different bottle. Wasn't quite the same as the original of this guy. So this guy is sharp, clean, mossy, creamy, lavender, oak moss, patchouli. So this is kind of that traditional fougère. So when we think about barbershop scents from today, star anise, lavender, that type thing, this is a lot of times considered kind of the father of that or grandfather of that. A lot of it came through this guy. He's also somewhat clean fresh, but more barbershop style. So clean shaven would be a good way to look at this guy. But this one was a powerhouse in his day. Great projection, great longevity. I got a lot of compliments over him over the years. So one that's going to be sorely missed. So last one on the list today of the 5. So let me know, guys, what did you think of my top 5 as far as being discontinued? Would you agree or would you disagree? How did I describe them? Was it accurate to you? Is there something you would change or add to my list? If so, please leave me a comment. Let me know. So please remember to like and subscribe for future content. I will work on a part 2. Until next time, take care, guys.